turn it over to Dr. Stanback Stroud.
Thank you, President Bonilla, members of the board, my colleagues here on the dais, and members in the public. The first thing I'd like to do is just take a point of personal privilege and introduce the Interim General Counsel and Chief of Staff, Mr. Delisle Warden, who's sitting to my left. Nobody's more glad that he's here than I am. The second thing I'd like to do is just acknowledge the celebration of African American Heritage Month, and acknowledge the contributions that people of African descent, particularly the African diaspora and people African Americans make to our culture and our society on a regular basis, to the institutions that are social, cultural, educational, religious, financial, every aspect of the institutions that serve our society, and particularly educational. And thank the College of Alameda for inviting me to make some comments as they kicked off their African American Heritage celebration. And then just with a happy birthday note to Rosa Parks, I'd like to make a few comments about the accreditation news that we received at all 4 of the colleges. You know that each of the 4 colleges were notified by the Accrediting Commission of an action that they took to place all 4 colleges on probation. I'd like to give a little context to that. The news is disappointing, but I'm confident we're going to be able to address their concerns. In fact, I had a conversation with the Senior Vice President of the Commission, Dr. Stephanie Droker, and it is my understanding that the Commission is committed to our successful response, and they are there to be of service to us if we need. So I'd like to stress a few points. First of all, once we got the information, I communicated immediately to the Board of Trustees. Then immediately the next day, I had a tour to each of the colleges in the district where I had an opportunity to address the original purpose that I was going there for, which was to just give people an opportunity to meet me, give me ideas, and raise concerns, in other words, to listen. But I also had a chance to address the accreditation issue up front at each of the colleges, and so for people who attended, I got a chance to hear these notes of context. I then followed up the next day with an announcement that went to all 4 of the colleges, and subsequently the next day, including the district office, in order to give some context around that. We are making arrangements for Dr. Droker to meet with the executive leadership so that she can talk about some things very specifically. And I know that we are making arrangements also for the accreditation training that will take place at the board. So let me just point out a few things, and if you've had a chance to hear any of those things, read any of those messages, then this will not be new information, but I do want to state it as a matter of public record. First of all, it's critically important to recognize that Berkeley City College, the College of Alameda, Laney College, and Merritt College all remain fully accredited colleges now and for the duration of the probationary period. That's important for the students and the community to understand. Students and community members should understand that they continue to receive excellent, fully accredited, and affordable education at these colleges. The next thing is I want to give some context to the news. It is disappointing, but I also recognize that it could have been much worse. You see, typically when colleges are asked to do a 5-year fiscal sustainability plan, either they're able to say to the Accrediting Commission, we have our issues addressed, or the Commission says, we think you have those addressed, or they say, actually, you need to show cause as to why you should continue to receive full accreditation. But they didn't say that. What they said to us, and it was relayed in the conversation with Dr. Droker, is that they believe that we are making good progress. They recognize the momentum we've established in addressing the issues of the FITMAC, of the Financial Crisis Management Assistance Team recommendations. They believe we're making good progress, and they think that we simply need more time. And so they are giving us until November to be able to be responsive and continue to make progress. Now, we are addressing those challenges. But in the meantime, understand that the issues were not new issues. They were issues that were raised in the FITMAC recommendations, so in the FITMAC analysis. So we have a good understanding of those issues, and it is not issues of program integrity, educational excellence. They're not issues of the value of the curriculum. There are not issues of pedagogy or teaching. They are fiscal issues, which are challenges. And as you heard in some of the speakers, will continue to be challenges, but that we are developing strategies to address that. So it's really important for us to make sure we understand that. The other thing I want to talk about is I do have confidence that we'll be able to do that. I actually, at the same day that I was receiving the letters about the 4 colleges, I also received the letters about the work that I had done at a previous college in order to lead them through accreditation. And so in one hand, I had a letter that was giving me commendation for the work I had done. As a matter of fact, there were 4 commendations with no recommendations for improvement and no areas that were out of compliance. And it was that leadership that, along with the team, the faculty, the staff, and the administration at that college, that we were able to get that type of a recommendation. So I have full faith and confidence that we'll be able to bring those kinds of ideas and bring those types of approaches to support the 4 colleges in the Peralta Community College District. The other thing that I would like to say is that in terms of the items that ACCJC identified, I just want to remind us that they are consistently the items that were identified in FITMAC. So basically, they validated and verified the items of FITMAC. And when they said they did not have evidence, I want to give some context to that. So first of all, I want to thank Dr. Siri Brown for her leadership and support, and all of the rest of the executive team that pulled together the 5-year financial sustainability plan in submission to ACCJC. The second thing is that ACCJC repeated what they saw in FITMAC. And so when FITMAC when they were here, if they asked for some information and either that information wasn't available or there wasn't a person in that position that would provide that information, their language was no evidence was provided to say that the district meets this standard or carries out this process. So when ACCJC repeated that the evidence was not provided, that was not about evidence not being in the financial sustainability plan. It was a repeat of that language in the FITMAC that says that we didn't provide evidence to show that we had moved our way through, for an example, the structural deficit, or we didn't have evidence to show that we were addressing the financial controls in place. So I just wanted to clarify that and to say thank you to the administrative team that did a yeoman's job in trying to make sure that we were able to give the best response we could to ACCJC. And I have full confidence that we'll be able to move forward and give an even better response in November. And finally, I will say that we are working with them because we are also in the middle of a second process, which is the preparing your ICER. And what we are doing is working with them to see if we can combine that work so that the report that is due to them, instead of it being due in November, that we can combine it and have it due in the following spring as well. It gives us that time, and it keeps us from having 2 different processes. They'll let us know whether we're going to be able to do that, and if we are, then that's great news. And if we're not, then we're going to meet the November timeline. What that means for the board is, in order to give you a November report, to send off a November report, that means we give you a second reading in September. You don't have an August meeting, that means we give you a first reading in July. Which means it's February now, which means next week, no, I'm kidding, which means 4 months from now, we'll be putting a draft in front of you. All right? So thank you, and please let me know if I can answer any questions. And with that, if there are no further questions, if there are no questions about that aspect, then I'll turn it over to the presidents to make a comment about the colleges.
Seeing no questions, we'll turn it over to the president. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chancellor, for helping make that so clear, and for your visits to the college. Absolutely, everyone sees the work that's happening and is prepared to ensure our success with accreditation. This is week 3 of the semester, and we are so excited with all of our students and innovative curriculum. As was mentioned, it is a kickoff to African American History Month, and at Berkeley City College on Monday we had an incredible group of traditional African drums. It was downstairs in our atrium at the same time that we had our food pantry, so it almost felt like walking into a worldwide market with the music and dance and food, so it was very festive. So I want to thank our students for their great work with that. I also want to thank my leadership team at the college. You know, while it's week 3 of the spring semester, we are already preparing for summer and fall semester. And under the leadership of Vice President Cooney Hay and working closely with Dr. Siri Brown, we are beginning a block schedule for our fall semester. While that seems so simple, and while you would wonder why we haven't had that in place for years, it's getting everyone to work together so that students actually, if they take a class at Berkeley City College, can then still get to take another class at another college if needed, or make sure that the courses are blocked so they can go from one class to another without overlap. Because many times a 20-minute time period prevented students from getting 3 classes versus 2. And we're very confident that's going to help for our enrollment in the fall, as we're really working on increasing that enrollment for when the stability funding changes. And the other thing I wanted to mention is under the leadership initially of Lee Sada, our vice presidents or our have been working, I should say our directors of administrative services, with our new security company, A1. It is a lot of work to retrain a new group, but there are some really stellar people in those groups. And I really want to thank one in particular, James Fuller, publicly. All of the colleges have done program review. That is part of our institutional effectiveness to really ensure that our planning drives our resource allocation. And after stepping back into the college after 4 years, it is still very clear from that planning process we're absolutely ready for our new building. And I really want to thank all of the work happening in facilities, again, under Lee Sada, for getting our program and construction management happening so we can get those bond dollars to where the students will see it and the community. The other piece is our faculty have been so innovative, and statewide there's guided pathways movements. We have some faculty that have really helped lay out plans for students of what they should take to be able to finish in 2 years and transfer. And on Friday night, we had a psychedelic ball for our psychology program, and we had professors from UC Berkeley as well another UC and the CSUs with our faculty helping lay out for students how they could take classes and how they could even do substitutions if they need to be able to transfer, because that certainly is one of our missions, you know, transfer degrees and certificates and career education. And it wouldn't happen without the incredible work of our faculty, administrators, and staff, and in particular, Linda McAllister, Dr. Linda McAllister faculty, who helped make that happen. And I think that will be the rest of my report. I know you want a few brief minutes, but thank you, and thank you very much, Board, for your support as we really work to ensure that we meet all of these fiscal items that were noted. Thank you.
Okay, to give President Gilkerson a moment, I'm going to go next to the Chancellor, Board, faculty, staff, students, administration, and community. Good evening. At Merritt College, the birthplace of the Panthers and the seedbed for the development and expansion of African American studies as a recognized and dynamic field of academic inquiry, we commenced our Black History Month activities in earnest today. And like BCC, thanks to Ramona Butler, we began our celebration with a drum circle and libation ceremony in the Huey P. Newton Bobby Seale Student Lounge. It was quite a spiritual and meaningful experience to those in attendance, And again, I'd like to thank Ms. Ramona Butler for making that happen. Next, we had a visit from the Oakland Black Cowboy Association. Yeah, the president of the association, Mr. Wilbert F. McAllister, shared some fascinating history about the legacy of black cowboys. He took some pictures with our students and other cowboys in attendance, and he even afforded some of us the opportunity to get on a horse, sit in the saddle. So there is some evidence of me on a horse somewhere in the suit. The event today concluded with a paint and reflect project, which was really powerful. Participants were able to choose from 5 historical figures: Crispus Attucks, Frederick Douglass, Ida B. Wells, Shirley Chisholm, and Tupac Shakur. And they were given materials and a canvas to create their own portraits, and a brief presentation on each of these figures wrapped up the day. So today was a great kickoff to our Black History Month festivities, and I want to take a moment to acknowledge Ms. Tahita Anderson, who heads our Sankofa Umoja program at Merritt. She did a fantastic job. And just in closing, I also want to say today, our Next Up program, which is the Foster Youth Educational Support Program, had the opportunity to meet with Alameda County Office of Education, the Probation Department, Foster Parents Association, and foster youth from the Youth Advocate Program to discuss strategies for improving services and program for our foster youth. And we look forward to building on these constructive conversations, and we'll keep you apprised in the weeks to come. Thank you.
All right, I'll go next. So greetings from the island of Alameda. Today also we kicked off our celebration of Black History Month, and it was really great to have the Chancellor join us for our celebration today. I want to give a lot of props to Brenda Lewis, who really herded lots of cats to make a wonderful, wonderful program today and get a really good turnout. Our Moja program was there. A lot of our AFRAM students through Professor Jody Campbell were present. It was such an uplifting way to, I want to say start the week, even though it was the second day of the week. It felt like this is the way you want to start every week. So I'm saying this is how I started my week. It was really great. And then also on some uplifting news, kind of parallel to institutional accreditation, many programs go through programmatic or program-specific accreditation, and one of our programs we have at COA that does that is our automotive technology program. And so this fall they went through their self-evaluation process for automotive technology as part of the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence, and we just got their letter, so it's kind of great getting 2 letters in 1 week. And their letter was they received the highest level of accreditation possible, which is the Master Automobile Service Technology Accreditation. So I am so proud of the faculty and the staff in that program for all the hard work they do and deliver great service to our students and do such excellence, which is gave them the highest award in the country for their program. So I just want to give them lots of props for all the good work that they do. So that's it.
Good evening, trustees and colleagues. I'm pleased to provide the report for Laney College. Similar to my sister colleges, we also kicked off Black History Month today as well with our celebration for the Black Student Union has been working on a month-long celebration, and today was Val Shurant doing the powerful musician and teacher, artist, and healer in our community. He did From Drum to Steel Drum, From Africa to the Caribbean and beyond, and I'm grateful to Hope Lane and all of the Black Student Union students who helped put on these events. I'm excited to tell you about a couple of highlights for Laney College. Our Laney photography student, Christine Chorney's work is being featured in the Hayward Photo Central Gallery from January 25th to March 7th. Her work, Still Life, is one of the black and white finalists at the Hayward Photo Gallery Award. With praise from her professor, Mike Moya says, Christine's artistic style of photography exemplifies her skills in the black and white medium. Her unique compositions of urban street, landscapes, and natural still lifes capture light and form. Christine's work is a journey in time. On Tuesday, January 28th, the Black and African American Advisory Panel of the California Community Colleges hosted the Town Hall and College Fair at McClymonds High School in Oakland. It was co-sponsored by our own district, and our Chancellor led really the event with amazing remarks to the community. I was pleased to be in community with my other college presidents as we all helped facilitated breakout listening sessions, and I had the privilege to help co-lead one with on the understanding and improving access for African American students. Our PIO, Lorena Baldazzo, and our Umoja Obaka co-coordinator, Cassie Phillips, provided college information at the Laney outreach table, and they had quite a showing, I have to say. And we were also excited to have KMEL's Shay Diddy, who is a radio personality and music director, as part of the program. And y'all, she gave a shout out to Laney College as an alum and made a reference to the fact that Laney really helped her finish her studies at UC Berkeley. We're pleased to announce that Laney instructor Mark Razan has been nominated to an Oakland District 4 Local Hero and will be honored on Saturday, February 22nd, from 11 to 1 p.m. at Laurel Elementary School. As a founding member, past president, and emeritus board member of Friends of Saucil Creek, Mark has worked actively on the local grassroots environmental scene for over 25 years. His first major project was in 1997 with the city of Oakland that re-engineered and restored a half-mile section of Diamond Canyon and Saucil Creek, and he has made additional efforts to save the endangered pallid manzanita, whose tiny colonies in the Oakland Hills had dwindled to the point of disappearing. And he also has led efforts for over 16 years to monitor bird restoration in areas totaling over 60 surveys. Mark really has been a leader. As a tenured geography professor at Laney College, Mark has engage hundreds of students in citizen science by testing water quality of Lake Merritt and involving students in conservation projects like restoring wetlands, vegetation near the college, and working with students at Saucil Creek. He is a specialist in double-crested cormorants that nest on the Bay Bridge. He was highlighted for his work actually nationally on creating, where he designed these platforms that actually saved folks and now has built them on the Berkeley Pier as well. He is an award-winning author of over 20 books, and for 2 decades, he has carried the torch for local environmental stewardship in Oakland. We are thrilled and honored. He is being honored, and we're really proud to have him in the Laney community. And in that same spirit, I'll just end with the fact that Laney has launched a Keep Laney Clean campaign based on feedback from a Flex Day workshop that I led in January. Faculty and classified shared with me some things that they hear about our community, good and bad, and one of the trending topics was that Laney is often seen as sort of dirty in some ways. We have an amazing team of custodians and ground crews that are working tirelessly to keep the campus clean, but there is a reality of the fact that the cleanliness of our campus the responsibility belongs to more than just them, right? It's a lot of trash that doesn't need to be there, of folks who are just not taking responsibility for their own things. We want our campus to be a place our staff and students are proud of. So I began to think, what could I do? How could I change? This is like my home, right? And what is my responsibility? And so in the confines of my office, I designed and launched a Keep Laney Clean campaign and highlighted it through one of my online vlogs and designed this poster that will soon adorn the campus with the goal of changing the narrative about our campus community and working together to show the campus the love and respect it deserves. Lawn signs and posters are going to be distributed soon. I hope you all join me, and thank you. That's my report from Laney College.
Thank you for all of those reports. Thank you, Chancellor, and thank you, college presidents.